Hello, 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 gang. What is up? Another edition of the Live Mikey Show. Now it is Easter 2025. And we've got a great show coming up. We got a lot of got a really good show. I will wait for people to chalk into the queue. I didn't put my I didn't put my normal teaser up today. So I don't know if people realize that I come in every every Wednesday and every Sunday, regardless if I put a teaser up or not, the little thing that says I'm going to be live. So I do it regardless. I don't have to. I'm always here. Namaste, Arsha. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Tommy Clark, what's up, man? You're seeing fish tonight. Nice, brother. Cool. That'll be fun. Happy Easter to everybody. I have to open something here. I think I found a way to, let's see, I'll do that. Let me go to, oh yeah, and then I can go like this. Yep. Okay, cool. Let's see, open. Well, no, I don't need to. I think I can go like this. I'm just looking for how to share a screen, and I think I've figured out how to share the screen. We will let people chalk up into the queue. Grimaldi, what's up, man? Brand new here, Buffalo, New York. Welcome, Mike. Thanks for joining, buddy. Hi from UK, 2 a.m. Carlos is up late, man. Yeah, buddy. Blessings from the cosmos. What up, JM? Good to see you, man. Mal Capo, man. He's the tribe helicopter pilot. When I need to be flown around to different tribe locations and I have enough to buy my own copter, well, the tribe copter, Malcolm is going to be the pilot, man. Happy Easter, Chris. Good to see you, buddy. Chris is our computer science expert. Yeah, exactly. It's a Casio. I don't do Casio. You know that. You know I don't do Casio. Actually, I do have not a Casio. I've got a, what is that thing? Tuna can. Seiko diving watch. A Patty. Is it in here? Yeah, here it is. It's sitting right over here. Harsha loves this kind of shit. The Seiko Patty. Giant freaking tuna can, man. The real diving watch. The real McCoy. One of the tribe gave this to me. He just sent it to me. So it's pretty cool. But I always wear, this is the Breguet. I like, today was Easter, so I wore a nice one. Alan Watson, what's up? Mark Hirschling, our logger friend from Wisconsin. Rev, what's up, man? With the 57 gold top, Les Paul for sale for anybody. Joseph, what's up, man? Seiko are nice. Yeah, they're well made. Grand Seiko is really nice, as a matter of fact. Yes, so we just finished watching. Oh, I got to tell you guys what happened to me, man. So tribe members came to listen, actually, this last. Hey, Charles, how are you, buddy? Welcome, man. Zigadig, what's up? The Enforcer says Happy Easter, Mikey and the tribe. What's up, brother? Yeah, so check this out. Okay, so you know how the system that I had that I was loving so much, man, that was sounding so freaking good. The big tubes, single tube running those big damn giant Fishers. When we were moving speakers the other day, we had a dog we were watching, a big dog, blackmouth cur. If you guys know what a blackmouth cur is, really smart dog. But he's super, he wanted to be hanging with us and we were blowing him off. I'm trying to fix my freaking Sproingers. And he got upset and he was scratching on the door, trying to get out. We wouldn't let him out. And I left the door of my audio room cracked open, which I normally don't. I normally have that closed all the time, so dogs don't go in there. This freaking dog went in there, pissed on my big amp, and I didn't know it. And I went and turned that thing on, and pap, it blew a cap, or it blew something. It's something shorted. So I have to take the damn thing, and I open it up, and there's like all this liquid in there. I'm like, what the fuck? And it was like crystallized. And then I smelled it, and I'm like, this is piss. That motherfucker. He came in here and pissed on my amp. And not only that, but he pissed exactly right into the slot where it goes right down into the circuit board. We'll be able to fix it. I'll have it fixed, right away. But what a drag. So that next day, I get a guy that flew in from New Mexico. He listened. I put in some solid state amps, the AA amps, audio analogs, two solid state amps, big hefty mofos, and he was here to help me. Thanks, Brandon, by the way. So he didn't get the magic from those big tubes. It's crazy with these speakers. You can really tell so much, and even with any of the Fishers, you can tell they're so transparent. You tell what's in front of them really well. You can really tell the difference between amplifiers, DACs, things like that. So the audio analog DACs, in my setup, I like things very right down, dead nuts down the middle. The audio analogs, as I've told you, this is why people get them, is they're a little bit on the musical side. So they help tame any sort of like Focal. They'd be perfect with Focal, perfect with Wilson, perfect with YG acoustics, perfect with anything that is a little bit forward. But when you put them with Fisher, which is a very smooth speaker, right dead down the middle, they have a little shade of darkness to them. And then adding a solid state amp gave me more bass than from the tube. The tube had really good bass, but it was more it wasn't as much, right? It wasn't as much. So all of a sudden I'm like, the room was tuned for the vacuum tubes, and now I've got to throw in two solid state amps for Brandon, and we didn't adjust the room. So we dealt with it. It sounded good. It still sounded good, but it wasn't the magic. And when something happens like that, to me, it kills my spirit. It's like I just don't even want to go near the room. It's like and so I left it, and I just didn't go back to the room. And then Steve DeHardy, which you see him come on here at Steve Bedrock Audio. Steve came over, and of course, Steve is somebody that I go back and forth with. We always argue a lot, in a good way. We're totally friends, but we will go back and forth about things that sound good and just different. And he loves his Benchmark amp, and I think Benchmark's kind of like wah, but he thinks it's the best thing. And so he came like, okay, shit. Now I got Steve coming, who's hypercritical. And Steve is going to report back to Shane, Aussie Audiophile, and Harsha, who just said namaste. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Now he's going to go back, and he's going to have to report. So I've got to pull this shit together. So he was willing to stick it out and help me get everything lined up and get the room tuned. So we ended up putting transmitters. We ended up bi-amping. I put some tubes back in to bring that top end and that imaging forward. And we put those tubes in, then we used the audio analog Donizetti amps on the bass modules. And we tried it 3 different ways. There's just 3 different ways to do it finally. And all of them include using an active crossover. So now I've got an active crossover in the mix in the signal path, and I'm divvying up things, and we're trying different frequencies and different slopes. And it's like, and now we're launched into, solid 4 to 5 hours of tuning. Well, 4 hours the first night, and then the next day we did like another hour. So it was five hours. We greatly improved it, but man, once you start, and this is why I was so into the single tube amp, because it was plug and play. We didn't have to mess with anything. The second you put in bi-amp, and you have to match gains, and you have to find your perfect active crossover point and slope, and then adjust the bass We pulled the speakers out, we moved them in, we rotated, we got them. Now they're dialed, okay? But they're dialed for a biamp setup. So as soon as my amps are fixed in a week or whatever, the big tubes, they're going to go back in, and then hopefully the same things will work. I don't know if they will or not, but I may have to be launched back into another tuning session to get everything tuned back to the tube amps. And man, the more I do this, the more I love simple. And I've got something to introduce to you guys. I don't know if it'll be this week because I need to, but next week, that is a very simple, elegant solution that is, let's see, it'll be like with cables and everything, a $40,000 complete soup to nuts hi-fi rig. And it's exotic. And it's class A, and it's really freaking cool. And as you guys know, I don't introduce products very much. I don't every single time show you a different product because that's like chewing through fodder, right? It's like chum. You're just throwing chum out when you're fishing. It's the same thing when you're always just, and that's good. I mean, for you guys to learn about new things, there's other channels where people just every single video, it's just a different product, but they're not specializing or showcasing one thing that really means a lot to them. They're just doing whatever they get sent to them or paid or whatever. So as you know, I only make product videos when I have new things that I think are amazing. And I have to assess them out first. That means assess. I won't tell you about anything that just came in. That's not what I do. It has to have been here at least 2 weeks, and me listening to it at least 2 weeks and breaking it in before I'll even comment on it. And more typically, it'll be even longer, a month, maybe even 2 months, because these are things that I'm looking at providing for the tribe. So that's coming up. The more I do this, I guess that was a riff on the more I do this, the more I love simple. But this whole industry is set up to make things complex for you. And when I did that video with the single tube amps and the big speakers, you don't know how many, people were like, people that I know in the industry that are like, oh, that can't work. You can't 160 watts. That's just, you can't make that work. You need to have big iron in there, heavy iron. And I'm like, no, you've never heard an amp like that thing. I've never heard an amp like that thing. There is no tube amp in the world that has a single tube that is that powerful. The only tube amp I've ever heard, tube amp monos that are that powerful, are like 300 or 400 watt VTLs or Manleys or things where they have like 8 6550s or 8 KT120s per channel. Then you have some power like what I got out of that single tube. It's nuts, but everybody's, you need to put in. So now I've got more iron. Now I've got the biamp, and we've got a dual. Let's see if I can find. Well, I'll make a video of it. I'm not going to show you the pic from the phone. So yeah, so that is coming up. So we've been hard at work. We've been hard at work getting the system tuned and everything. Let me see back. Where did I leave off? There. You're live in the Detroit. Donald Dietz is our Detroit chapter. We've got a listening room up there in a beautiful loft in an old firehouse in Detroit. This man is a wine connoisseur, a food connoisseur, and he's an artist. He's right. He's perfect tribe material. Well, you guys all are. Doesn't matter. But Don was with us in Chicago. We had a great time hanging out with Don, and he will have 570 Fishers up there. And so looking forward to that. Tomorrow I'll have another pair going to Grand Rapids, Michigan. 470s are going to Grand Rapids, Michigan. 170s just went out Friday. 170s and 70s. The 170s went to Chicago. The 70s went to New York. So they and all the things that I have right now, there's no tariffs yet. So If you're thinking about Fisher and Fisher, now is the time to do it. Do not wait, is what I suggest. And I can only say it. And then when the price goes up, don't complain. The same thing happened with Nat Audio. People wait on Nat Audio, and the next thing you know, they're 97,000. I told you, eventually these companies change their pricing because they realized, so that's what happened with Nat. So where's my Easter eggs? Hanging. Ba-dum, boom. And speaking of Easter, I was blessed by the Archbishop of Atlanta today. And let me see if I can share this. Okay, let's see. Oh, it doesn't work that way, does it? No, it doesn't. Okay. So let's see. Maybe I can go like this. Let's see. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'd have to, let's see, add file from. Okay, so hang on a second. Let me do something and let me go like this. Download that. Okay. I am saving these to my computer because it looks like I can share files. And I'm going to give this a shot and see if it works, how it works here. Okay, so let's see. My computer, we currently support PowerPoint PDF. Upload file. Okay, so let's go here. Let's see. Downloads, documents, top. Where's my downloads? That should be. Let's see here. Downloads, right? Oh, PDF is what they support. They don't support JPEG, of course. Okay, cancel. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, maybe I can go like this. I think I can go like this. Bear with me because I'm going to show you some good stuff here. I just need to figure out how to do this, and I think I've got it. It goes like this. Okay, what's that? Here. Go to downloads. Okay, so there we go. Okay, that is one. Let me go like this. Let's see. Is that still open? Yep. Okay, so that one's there. Okay, that one's there, and this one's here. Okay, so now let me see if I can do this. If I can go here, I can share the screen, and I go like this. Okay, go like that. Nope, nope. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so there, yeah, okay, so it's working. Okay, so there's my brother and I at the cathedral. We went to the Cathedral of Christ the King, which was cool. There is me getting blessed. Look at my brother's all closing his eyes, man. He's given the Archbishop some power too, right there. And Archbishop has given me a blessing. And then there's my brother, myself, and the Archbishop of Atlanta. On Easter 2025. So that's pretty, oh, excuse me, pretty cool. So there you have it. There was my Easter eggs right there. Bad dog. It was a bad dog. I know. Harsh, man. Totally uncool. My goodness gracious. Yeah, to say the least. Damn it. I know. Total great aim. It was unbelievable. It couldn't have been any more. He could have pissed on the transformer. It would have just bounced off the side of the transformer, gotten maybe on the floor, but it went like right on. I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect aimed. It didn't even go on the carpet. I'm like, how did dude? So bad. So yeah, it'll be all taken care of. One of my buddies sleptwalk and pissed on my Yamaha in college. Oh, Jesus. We used to have a guy that did that every time at any party. He'd get hammered and then blackout and then like piss in a closet or something like that. How embarrassing. Very bad dog. Yeah, totally. Now the amp will have ammonia like sound signature. Yeah, it will. 15% off. Well, it'll be completely cleaned up and taken care of. Yeah, it will. Pets and hi-fi don't mix. No, they're normally not allowed in that room. Cats need not apply with 20.7s, no doubt. They become a scratching post. Happy Easter, Romeo. Man, good to see you, brother. Happy Easter, man. Dog is lucky it wasn't already on. That could have been electrifying. Yeah, no doubt. But I don't think he would have gone that close to it if it was turned on and that hot. I think they kind of freak out like, holy shit, what is this thing? It's like a mini sun. Orchard better than Benchmark. We'll let Steve argue that one for you. I don't, those aren't in my wheelhouse. Either of those brands are not in my wheelhouse. I don't listen to them, but Steve will know. Very true. I have metal dog gates surround my system. Once I moved them and forgot to push back and found dog piss near the speaker wires. Yeah, man. I mean, he was pissed. He was angry at us. He was upset. So he went and pissed on the glowing orbs that we worship every night. He knew that shit was important to us, and that's right where he went. Hey, Jasper, how are you, buddy? Dogs, cats, and children are out of bounds. That's for sure. So true. Did I see Fisher and Fisher 470s that sold on Audiogon? I just missed them. Yeah, I think that was fake. I don't think that was real, brother. I told customers about him immediately, and I had people go call that dude up with cash. Local people that were like 15 minutes away from him, and he could just never quite get them. Never had them. There was sale pending. It's bullshit. So it was fake. Mikey and Tribe discovered a great older jam band Friday from Athens, Georgia called Widespread. You never heard of Widespread? Yeah, it's good shit, dude. Widespread Panic was like a dead jam band that kind of took over. Not took over the dead, but like took over a lot of the deadheads. Happy Easter, Dave. How are you, buddy? Just smoked a nice Arturo for the resurrection. Sweet, brother. Man, I got nobody to smoke with, and it's too late. I don't smoke this late. But I've got some new boxes. Oh, look what I've got right here. I've still got them in here from Chicago. These Hoyo Epicure Especial. Freaking really tasty cigs. And look at this, brother. Check this out. You don't see these very often. This is a bad daddy. This is a Monte Cristo Edición Limitada. If you know what these are, see that band right down there? Let's try to get it to focus on it. Edición Limitada. So 2010. So these are 15-year-old stogies. Every year they pick 3 Vitolas out of Cuba that get this band, that get this rating, Edición Limitada, which are the top one from that crop from that year. There was this money and then 2 others. And I collect them. I've got like 5 different boxes from different years of Edición Limitadas. And it's a fine cigar, man. It is a fine cigar. From my native country of Cuba. Actually, Spain is really the blood line, but we went from Spain to Cuba. So yeah, I would like to smoke. I have to do them earlier in the day, though. I can't smoke late at night because then I wake up hungover. It's weird. Nice. My cousin was blessed by the Pope about 30 years ago. Unfortunately, he still has Down syndrome. Not trying to be funny. Oh, okay. It didn't heal. In other words, man, have you seen this thing? I watched this thing on TV called Down for Love. Dude, it's the best thing. It's the most entertaining show on Netflix. There's one called Down for Love, and then there's one for autism, and then there's one for the Down syndrome. And it's a matchmaking thing. It's like a date. It's not a dating show, like a dating game, but it is. They do match people up with Down syndrome, and they meet each other and they go on dates. And it's the funniest. In a weird way, it's the most beautiful thing because these people that have Down syndrome and autism too do not hide behind facades. They are 100% genuine. They say what they feel and they say it out loud, exactly what they think and exactly how they feel. They're and it's a refreshing level of genuineness, you know? And and it's so cute, and they're horny too. It's funny, dude. They are horny. The second their lips touch, it's like fireworks go off, and then they're like incorrigible, man. They can't stop. It's crazy. They really passionate folks. And it's just the most amazing cute thing. And I'm gonna tell you, here's I'll admit to something. I cry. I got tears like coming down out the side of my eyes watching this shit because it's so beautiful. It's actually real love with no pretenses and no conditions, and it's just unconditional. They fall in love immediately with people. They love to be just enjoy. They're in the moment 100%. They're it's just it's a beautiful thing, and it's funny too. Some of it's just really funny. Speaking of Pope, let's see if I can see it. I've got a tape up here of Pope John Paul. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on. I found it. Okay, I found it. I found it. Okay, look what I have here. From Haji Sound Recording Company, Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, California, from February 25th, 1980. Pope John Paul II. Narration, Pope, narration. I've got a freaking 2-track. Look at this. This is side 2-track master. Pope John Paul, 15 ips. 2-track. There's only one of these. Do you guys know what this means? This is a relic. This is the master of his speech, the recording from this time. There's only one. This is the original. I don't know if you guys understand. You probably do. The significance of how unique and rare this collectible is. It's retarded. And then I have a whole bunch of music. And then this shit behind me is the 24-track session reels. And I've gone through this before. But like, here's Roger McGuinn from the Byrds, if I go down here, I'll pull this real one. This was in the room with Roger McGuinn. I've got Tina Turner. I've got REO Speedwagon. I've got a bunch of stuff. And this is the, when they were in the recording studio, this was the freaking tape that was on the machine. It was there with them, with the artist. That is extremely rare. Nobody has that. And why do I have that? So I can compare master tape to my digital to show people the difference between master tape and digital. This isn't master tape. This is master. This is real master tape. And it's not a copy. These are the original session reels. So they make master tapes from these session reels. These are the actual pieces that are in the studio with the artist at the same time. And then the masters are made later when they mix these things up and they dump them down. And so it's very interesting. Where are Fisher and Fisher's around Santa Barbara, Ventura? Okay, we've got some in NorCal. Let's see. So where do we have in Southern Cal? Do I have any in LA? Bakersfield? No, that's playback. I'm thinking. I don't think I have any in SoCal. But 170s are 5. Yeah. I mean, do you need to hear a $7,000 speaker before you buy it? I mean, it's like a power cord. People have been buying $40,000, $50,000. Well, there is no $50,000, $40,000 and $30,000 Fishers without even hearing them. Yeah. I mean, come to a show and listen to them. You know, they're at shows, but they come with money back guarantees. And if you, unless you don't trust me and you don't think I know what I'm talking about, I take videos of like every person that comes by here to listen, and you hear them talk about the Fishers. So I got a great idea. How about you're the guy that is Santa Barbara Ventura Fisher guy? How about we make you the honorable man that takes care of it? Don't be a pussy. Spend your $7,000, man. Spend it. Get some damn speaker. Get some good speakers. Something that nobody else has. Because it's not that much, and I'll guarantee them for you. And you know what? You wouldn't even have to. You wouldn't even have to worry about sending them back if you didn't like them, which still hasn't happened. Knock on wood. But I'd find a home for them right there in LA. As a matter of fact, you know what? Venice Beach. There will be a pair of 270s in Venice Beach. Yep, it just popped into my mind. There's 270s going to Venice Beach, but they're not. That'll be next round. But you know, at some point, Joseph, you either got to just trust me or not. You got to either say Mikey knows what he's talking about or Mikey doesn't know shit. You know, and you can be the guy. You can be the guy in Ventura, man. Happy Easter, tribe. What's up, David? Happy Easter, man. Isn't the Pope very ill at the moment? I have no idea. I don't follow it. Happy Easter, Mikey and tribe. Was a beautiful day in Asheville. Yeah, Frank, what's up, man? Got the seeds going in the garden today. There you go. Spinach, bush beans, turmeric, tulsi, and planting okra soon. Fresh garden eats. Sweet, man. Awesome. We just picked some. Oh, I can't remember the type of lettuce, but we have some lettuce that we planted in pots out there and oh my God, the salad that we make from it is so delicious. There's something about just eating something live that you just pulled out of the garden that is totally different than buying it preserved, you know, in the grocery store after it's been cut and shipped halfway across the country. And especially with something like lettuce, if you get Central Valley, California, romaine and shit like that, like you're not supposed to eat that shit. Like if you talk to any food health expert, that's the first number one thing not to eat is lettuce from California. And that's because they fertilize it with liquid shit from the cows and they just spray E. coli all over these things, you know? It's nasty. It's like the stuff is grown in the same areas where the feedlots are, and then they just spray the liquefied shit all over them. It's nasty stuff. You can really get sick. That's why you find, you know, they have the recalls on spinach and recalls and shit like that. So imagine if the amp was on, he'd have got a shock. Oh yeah, it might have put him in the hospital. It would have burned his dick, that's for sure. It was Chipper is his name. He must hate tubes. He knew that it was important to us. We go into that room, we don't let him in, and then we, you know, bow down and worship. Probably in his eyes, we're worshiping some glowing orb, you know, that he doesn't understand. But he's like, why are they so into these damn glowing orbs? I know it's important to him, so I'm gonna piss on him, you know. Little bastard. But you know, I couldn't. He was gone. I wouldn't got mad at him anyways. What am I going to do? I'm the dumbass that left the door open. You know, I didn't think for a second that would happen. I mean, that's the last thing I thought would happen. So widespread panic, older. Yeah, widespread has been around for a long time, baby. I mean, they've been around at least 20 years. I think probably like right around 20 years. However, they were right there after Jerry died. I mean, widespread was, I think they were probably running around while the original dead was still there. Let's see. What date did widespread panic start? Oh no. Okay. In early 2002, the band was dealt a heavy blow. Oh, that was when somebody died. Okay, 1982. Let's see, a brief history. 1982. It looks like 1982. So they were totally widespread panic is a really old dude. If they were doing gigs in 1982, oh wait, 1982 to 84. Okay, began playing music 84. Let's see, JB play a solo show. The first performance of widespread spread panic 1985 was the first performance of widespread panic 85. Well, their shows consist primarily cover tunes by Dead, Van Morrison, Bob Marley, and Traffic. Their repertoire does include a handful of original songs: Sleepy Monkey, Chilly Water, Space Wrangler, and Coconut. Okay, so 85, 86 was like their first years. So yeah, it's old. Doing well, my brother. Great, Dave. Awesome. How was the reception of the OCD Mikey coaxial speaker? Which one's that? You talking about the one that the MoFi killer? Is that the one you're talking about? Hey, Mikey. Hi, Tribe. What's up, Charles Knight? How are you, man? Hecho in Cuba. Yeah, that's right, man. Habanos. If Class A B amp with no heat sinks. Okay, so that doesn't exist. Okay, gets too hot to the touch driving Maggie's. Is it always okay to remove the cover, or are some designs meant to use chassis with cover on as a heatsink? Some designs are meant to use the chassis with cover on as a heatsink. Jeff Rowland is one of them. He's got a thing that presses something right against it. Goes from the main board straight up. It goes down and it goes straight up and presses onto the top of the lid. Jeff Rowland's chassis are absolutely heat sinks. That's why you see kind of like holes sometimes in the side and fins on the chassis, because his whole box is a heat sink. So yeah, you have to know which design it is. Typically they should, if they don't have heat sinks on the outside, they probably have heat sinks on the inside. And so if you open it up and you see two heat rows of heat sinks, if you take the top off, it may help convection, go get better. And opening might help that, but then you have to be careful of dogs pissing inside or spilling something or somebody's pesky thing, a little kid's hand going in there. I mean, a lot can happen when you sit with your gear open, it's not the best idea, but I have done it before. New jam band called Widespread Panic. What? Way to take what? My kind of guy. Good taste, brother. Yes. Hey, what's up? What's up, David? How are you? Your thoughts on Air Electronics, Mikey? Is that the one from Austria or is that the one from Colorado? I get the two mixed up. Air and Arcam. Is it Arcam Air? And there's another one. I can't remember. Let's see. If Air is the one from Colorado. Oh yeah, that's right. It is. I think this is the one because I like to call him Ira. Yeah, I think these guys are. Let me see. Contact. Yeah, they are from Colorado. Good stuff. Good stuff. I like it. Good value. Good stuff. I've never owned it. I've never had it in my rig. So I can't really comment on where it stacks up with other stuff, but I know that I like the people. You know how I tell you I go to shows and I walk in and I get a vibe of the brand, just the people and I just go in and what's the feeling in this room. So those guys were cool. So I always got a good vibe from them. So I like them, and at some point I will start to, I don't know, man, it's like, do I keep typically I keep my offerings slim. I could sell this brand and we talked about it and all that kind of stuff. There's so many brands. There's brands right now that I'm a dealer for that I don't even have on my website. Okay? Like Diptyque. I'm a dealer for Diptyque. I'm a dealer for Audio Flight. I'm a dealer for what are the other ones? BMG, the German company. And then I guess I'll be, because they just Wilson Benesch, all these things. I don't all the stuff that I can carry, I don't carry. I get in with certain distributors and they've got like 15 brands and I can carry any of them, as few or as many as I want. And what you'll see is many dealers to make themselves look like they're big, they will put everything that distributor, they get one distributor, one account, and now they've got 15 brands. They'll plaster those 15 brands on their site to make it look like they have an individual account with every one of those companies, when really it's just one account with 15 brands. So I can look at a website and try to assess out a dealer, and depending what brands he's listing there, I can go, oh, he's signed on with blah 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 distributor. I can tell by exactly what he's got listed on his site that he's signed on with one distributor or two distributors. He's not like out there getting individual brands. Like Jeff Rowland, for instance, doesn't go through distributorship. You have to be able to get a dealership straight from Jeff Rowland, and good luck getting one. It's hard, so it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. But IRA, how I like to call it, because probably nobody calls it that. IRA, maybe I don't know. It looks like it would be IRA. Is a cool brand, but again, I don't know it from experience. I'm gonna have to come visit, bud. I enjoy good Cuban stick. Well, absolutely, brother. I've got a whole freaking cabinet humidor over there with about 500 stogies in it, maybe more. Let's see, there's 25 in each box. Oh, I've got probably more like 800 or 1,000. I probably have 1,000 stogies down there. Yeah, man, some of those kids are really high functioning. Yeah, yeah, and not only that, it's just yeah, it's. I got to tell you, want to hear something funny one time? This is gonna be a funny thing. My brother was tripping on something. He took a psychedelic at a party many years ago. I think it was one of those new designer drugs like CB2 or CB, what was C2B or whatever, something like that. And he was tripping balls where like he was seeing the tear in the fabric of reality and shit like that. And there was a kid at the party who had Down syndrome, and he was looking at him and he was tripping balls and he was like, well, those are the geniuses. Like he was like, yeah, he was having this vision that they were the geniuses, and you never know, they could be. The beautiful thing about autism and Down syndrome is the genuine, direct nature of the people. It's so refreshing. It's like if everybody was like that, there would be no ambiguity, no bullshit games or manipulation or shit like that. You just know people straight face value, which would be, it's great. It's great to see. I love to watch it. Me and my wife love Down for Love. Okay, so you guys watch it too. Awesome shows. Hard not to love those folks. Totally. You love them. Like if I saw them in public, some of them are in Georgia. If I saw them in public, I would go up to them and be like, hey, you know, and then like, want to hug them, and then, they'd freak out or something, punch me. Someone said that don't touch a Down syndrome person. They don't like being touched. I don't know. I don't have any direct um 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 experience, but the show Down for Love is great. And I can't remember what the other one is called. Um oh man, On the Spectrum, Love on the Spectrum. Okay, so one is Down for Love, the other one is Love on the Spectrum. You guys got to watch that shit. Like seriously, you're gonna laugh your ass off. The things that they say to each other, and then it's so cute when they fall in love. It's like so cute and touching and innocent. It's like you just like, oh, like the fact that innocence still exists anymore is like touching, because it seems like in this day and age there is no longer any innocence anywhere. They are the overall happiest people in the world. Totally. Folks with Downs. Best hug you'll ever get in your life will be from someone with Down syndrome. Oh, that's so sweet. Autism show is Love on the Spectrum. There you go. That's right. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, man. Happiness can make one cry. Yeah, it is. When something is sublime and beautiful and touching, that's what makes me bawl. I don't bawl from like, oh, the deer's mommy got killed or whatever, and like the baby's all alone. That shit makes me like, oh, I'm concerned. I don't get sad on typical sad things, like things like that. But the ones that are touching, that's the ones that get me right in the feels. Oh wow. You got the master tape. Yeah, the master tape, bro, right there, man. Got to make sure it's nowhere near magnets. You can't put those things near magnets. And sometimes hi-fi people use magnets. The Pope and the President Carter discussing Area 51. Wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be killer. You should play us some of those sometime. I will, man. I will. I have to bake them and make sure they don't flake off and I don't destroy them. Cool. More than cool. Yes. SN70s in stock. Yes, I do have some right now. I have SN70s. I just shipped some on Friday. I have, I think, 3 more pair, and I have 2 pairs of stands as well. So you can get SN70s with or without the stands. Just let me know. Just holler. How much are the 270s? When the 270s are in stock right now. Not the 270 with the soft dome, but the 270 with the AMT. I'm getting ready to pull one out of the box because I want to I want to hear it, first of all, because I only heard the one with the soft dome. And I want to put it together with this other unique item that I'm going to tell you guys about. It's just unique and cool. Anyways, so I lost my track. Oh, the 270s. So they are the 270 AMT is the one that I have. And if I'm not mistaken, and don't hold me to this because I often shoot myself in the foot. I believe, let's see, 170s are 7K, 270s 9,700 because that includes shipping now. 12 5 something like that, 12,500 something like that for 270 AMTs. Yeah, somewhere in there. Just call me if you want to ask. Just call me tomorrow, and I'll tell you about it. I just have to look it up. It's on the 11 Stereo website, by the way. And by the way, if nobody has done, go ahead, subscribe to this channel, give a thumbs up right now if you're watching, just to give me support and help the algorithm. Whatever that does, help YouTube spread my news to more people. Contact me at 11stereo.com, where there's a phone number for free consultation. If you're looking to purchase hi-fi gear, you just want to know about something, I'm happy to talk to you. My phone number is 415-484-5121. It's a Google number, 415-484-5121. Traces back to Bolinas, California, which I was like, I'm picking something from Bolinas. 415-484-5121 is the number. Call me. That's the best way to get in touch with me, is to call me or to text me. Don't email me and expect an answer. I am too busy selling and shipping and doing all the things that I do. I don't sit around reading emails and answering emails, especially if you want to ask me questions about what goes with this. And I got a room that does this, and you want to do all that consultation shit. I'm not doing it. I don't do it over the email. So don't expect a response. You got to call me and get me on the phone, or you got to text me and say, hey, Mikey, call me back. Those are the people that get stuff sold to them. Otherwise, you just go buy it somewhere else. But if you want me, you got to get my ass on the phone. That's how it works. There we go. Get rid of that. Go back here. Where am I? Oop, doop, doop, doop. Okay. Wait, I lost my spot now. Okay, there we are. Okay. I could be that SB guy, Nagra sources and pre. Okay, cool. Nagra's good stuff, man. Definitely. So holler and see and talk to me. If you want to, just call me tomorrow or the next day, whatever. And let's see what the size of your room is, and all that kind of stuff, and we can talk about it. So not a problem. Want them for a second system. They may win you over. I've had some people buy the SN70s that they put for their bedroom system or something like that. The next thing you know, they're calling back for mains for their main rig. After they hear how well those little things produce. How about a DAC streamer with HDMI? No, man. You're talking about home theater type stuff. I have to look at my new one and see. I have to look at the connections on back It's an all-in-one, and it's a DAC, it's a streamer, it's a Class A amplifier, it's freaking everything. It's touch screen. It's badass, dudes. It is badass. And it's not cheap chi-fi bullshit. It's 25 grand. And soon to be 28, but the three that I have will go for 25. But yeah. So and that's what I'm going to put with 270s. I'm going to put 270s and then that thing. So that's the $40,000 thing, but I don't know if you want 40K for your second system or not, but it's extremely simple. We could also do something. Well, we got to wait. I know of another one coming that's on deck with a manufacturer, and I can't say anything about it yet. And that one will probably be 20, maybe. I hear Chicago might have inventory of Fisher and Fisher in the future. Yes, man. There definitely is. There's inventory right now of Fisher and Fisher, and more will be coming in. So we'll have Chicago's already got 3 locations, and 4 is on deck. Zig-a-dig. So we'll have many up there in Chicago. I don't know why. It's weird. It's like I get certain pockets in the country that just that love the tribe and that follow me. And I've got a pack of dudes in Wisconsin. I've got some guys in Detroit and Michigan. I've got some people in Wisconsin. It's weird. I wonder, do I sound like a Midwesterner? Is that why you guys are relating like or something? And then there's states where there's nothing, like Malcolm is in New Mexico part-time, but New Mexico would be one. Like Arizona, nothing. I never sell to Arizona. Idaho, never sell to Idaho. Mississippi, never sell to Mississippi. Delaware, I don't ship to Delaware. It's just like weird places where there's vacuums, and then there'll be pockets. California, I've got pockets in all 3, in San Diego, in LA, and in NorCal. And then in between, Santa Barbara would be cool because I've got one in Bakersfield too. So right in those middle areas, Cali gets me, New York gets me too. They're real straightforward people. Knock on slate, not wood. Yeah, exactly. Well, I got a slate. Look, I got, oh wait, I need to send a set of these to, oh man. And he sent me a thing the other day, and it's the guy, if you're watching right now, remind me, it was the guy who called out 308 for this when I showed that, and he called out 308. He won 2 of these, and he was like, I don't want to bug you. And I was like, no problem, man, I'll ship them out. And then he sent me his address, and then I got sidetracked. It happens all the time, man. You guys, look, when you call me, don't worry about bugging me. You're not bugging me. Call my ass. I mean, if you want to get shit done, you need to call my ass because, yeah, that's the way to do it. Jeff needs to come visit me. Been a while since we have listened to your ever-changing system. Been watching your videos while on the road. Yeah, man, absolutely. Come. Someone's coming tomorrow he's also from Michigan. Wait. No, he's from Jersey. I'm sorry. He's from New Jersey. Yeah. Geez, that makes me feel old. I know. Isn't that wild? Had no idea they were that they've been around for that long. Jimmy Herring is one of the best guitar players touring. Yeah, I'll have to. I never, the thing is, I was such a deadhead that when Jerry died and then these jam bands popped up, I couldn't do any of them because I just couldn't. It was like I was mourning the death of the Grateful Dead to me, and I couldn't do a replacement. And a lot of people just quickly went to these replacement jam bands, but I couldn't do it. So I never got into them, but I know they're great. I think they came on my radar around senior year of high school, 91-ish. There you go. Yeah, like I remember them right after the Dead went, whenever Jerry died. Ion is from Austria. Okay, well, those are the two. Those are the two that I get. Ion, Australia, AY, 2 letters, AY, 2 letters. How, I get them always mixed up. Ion, Ire. you know? Yeah. So thanks for that, man. That's you just you brought it all out. I thought Mikey was an atheist. Are you Catholic? I'm born and raised Catholic. I'm not definitely not atheist. I absolutely believe in a higher power, right? I'm typically more of a what you'd say spiritual and not religious. More, I believe more if it were to be like Eastern type religions. Like I don't believe in I believe in a higher power, but I don't believe that it's separate from us. So I don't believe in separate I believe in a non-duality type religion, or spirituality rather. I just, where God is our higher consciousness is the way I look at it. I don't think it's a dude somewhere else. That is not, the way the Catholics teach, but in many ways, in order for me to I grew up as a Catholic. Okay, I'm Spanish, so of course I'm Catholic, right? And I went to Catholic school, first grade through eighth grade. I was actually a choir boy. Okay, so imagine Mikey, the black sheep, freaking with the robes and all that shit, as a choir boy. I was a choir boy. I didn't do altar boy, but I was a choir boy. So the Catholic teachings and everything are in my fiber because I grew up that way, going to church every Wednesday, Catholic church every Wednesday at school, and every Sunday with the family and in the parish. So I have great respect for my upbringing, and I have great respect for the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is utterly badass. Like, I don't think, and you guys can tell me too if you guys know, because I'm not really, I don't know much about religions of the world and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's very much surfacey. But to me, I don't think there's anything more dramatic than a Catholic mass. Like, I mean, today we're in this magnificent freaking cathedral that's bonkers beautiful, and the guy comes with this big, you saw his hat, he comes walking in and a golden staff with like a thing, and like these um the people, the procession with him, and the deacon, and when he comes in, they light incense, and it's in a golden globe, and he's swinging this golden globe all around the altar, and blessing the altar, and then around the candle that's supposed to, I think, represent, Christ's rebirth or whatever. And he's moving the thing, and then the choir is singing in the organ, the pipe organ, and like Latin, and it's just badass, dude. It's like it's full tilt reverence. It's like for tradition. Like, how can you not have reverence for that level of tradition? Plus, the Catholic Church is the most rich and powerful, of, as far as I know, of the organized religions. I mean, look at the Vatican and supposedly all their stores of gold. Now, I won't go into how they got it, because maybe that came from raping and pillaging. I don't know. I don't know the story. Again, I don't know enough about theology and all that different stuff to understand all that. But I just know the Catholic Church is strong, and when you go to their places and it's strong, and you feel that it's strong. So I go one time a year, and my brother and I do that together. We go one time a year to Catholic Mass. It's on Easter, and we do that in remembrance of my mother, who was always her favorite thing to have the two boys together with her at Easter Mass on Sunday, and then we'd go for brunch. And that was like one of my mom's most favorite things to do. And I'm even wearing my mom's medallion here. This my mom used to wear around her neck when I was little. I remember playing with this medallion and grabbing at it when I was a little kid, when she would wear it. And then and this is from my birth mother. This is from my grandmother. It's a little crown, and this is a Catholic little, it's a crown with crosses on it. And then this was my mother's from Cuba. This is a Virgin Mary. And then this is my grandma had, this is the Michael that was on her charm bracelet. She had all her grandkids on her charm bracelet, and this was my charm from my grandma. So this is all matriarchal homage that I wear. And I do that. Oh, I got it hooked on there. And so my brother and I, so we do it once a year, and we go to Catholic Mass. and it's intense and it's cool, and I love every bit of it. I get fully into it. I'm fully focused and listening, and I'm in there and like closing my eyes and just meditating and just feeling and yeah, I go through a catharsis of sorts because it's Easter. I try and clear any of the darkness, if you will, or devil or bad stuff, whatever you want to call it, negative energy, right? I would call it negative energy. I try and clear that from my heart, and I try and bring in light and goodness and love. Um, um, because I can get kind of grumpy and pessimistic, and I can get that way, man. I'm a scrapper. I'm a scrapper, man. And it's just whatever. It's character defect, right? It's just things that we have that we get. So I'm constantly I strive to be better and to be more graceful, right? And so one time a year I go to church and I go to a Catholic mass, and I go to the um you know most wicked cathedral that I have nearby, and we do it full tilt boogie, and then we go and do brunch. So it was super cool. I enjoyed every minute of it. Today was a beautiful day. It was beautiful. It was sunny, and it was just a great experience. So I am Catholic, but I'm not a practicing Catholic. What do they say? Like a recovering Catholic. um, and I don't, but I do go one time a year on Easter to pay homage to my mother and my grandmother and my heritage and how I was brought up, and I do it with my brother. So there you have it. Our monolith project is proving to be most challenging, mounting 300 1x7 speakers and a shallow mount subwoofer in a 4x8x5 Vanta Black box. That's cool. Vanta Black, isn't that belong to a watch company? Isn't there only one company that can do Vanta Black? Isn't that a trade? Is that a trade name? Anyways, if you guys know what Vanta Black means, it means it's this black paint that absorbs all light. So you've never seen black until you see Vanta Black. It's wicked. It just looks like absence of light. It's super cool. 300 1x7. A 1x7, it's an oval. What it's like this? Like what is a 1x7? 1 inch by 7 inch? 1 inch deep, 7 inch diameter. Like, explain yourself. Explain. You're interesting. Show us a picture, man. Do something, man. You're teasing us. Maybe he took 4 HOMET. Is that? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was like a 2CB type deal. It was. Oh, I wish I remember what form. It was not insulfated or smoked or shot. It was I think it was dosed just like orally. It may have been a pill. I think it was maybe a capsule. So maybe it was a powder. It was like, I think it was a cap. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. But he was like, holy shit. I mean, we've tripped. We've dosed, and we've done shrooms. We've done all that, right? And this was something he's like, holy shit, bro. Like, I had no idea what I was in for. And that took me on like it was intense. It was like nothing he'd ever done before. So and this is a long time. I mean, it's 30 years ago. Not true. I don't know any that don't love to give big hugs. Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. Awesome. That's cool. So what if you walk up and talk to someone and you put your hand on their shoulder? Is that a no-no? I know you're not a huge fan of preamps. No, I love preamps. I just don't think they're if look, I think preamps are cool, right? Just like I think old motorcycles are cool. I think preamps are cool. And some systems totally need preamps. So in certain systems you need them. But I seek to find um DACs that don't require preamps, because at this point in my life, I'm about simplification, not complication. And once you add a preamp, you add another power cord, you add more interconnects, you're putting something else into the signal path, which is additive. And so if I can avoid it, I totally do. But I think preamps are cool. It's not like I don't like them. I just think they're antiquated, and sometimes they're necessary. And I will agree. I will say absolutely, in some rigs, that shit needs a preamp, right? Especially, okay, well, obviously you need a preamp if you have vinyl. Okay. You definitely need a preamp or tape. You need a preamp if you have a DAC that does not have volume control. Then you need a preamp, okay? And you need a preamp if your rig needs the help of a preamp. Sometimes they do not. Sometimes with the playback design, and that's there's 2 DACs that I know of, maybe 3, but two, maybe 3. And I have them. The MA3 Meitner at 12.5, the audio analog AA DAC at $5,000, and then the playback designs MPD6 at 15 and MPD8 at 26. Those DACs don't need a volume control. Their analog output stage is properly done. So I think you don't need a preamp. Now, could you improve a $5,000 audio analog DAC with a $15,000 VAC or VAC tube pre? Yes, you could improve it. And you could make the system sound better. But generally speaking, if you can avoid it, I like to avoid it. So that's all. Did you try tube pre with the solid state? Yeah, tube pre with solid state was always what I did. I rarely did tube pre and tube amps. Will add some liquidity. Yes, it does. I use an Audible Illusions 3B with 2 LFD. LFD. I'm thinking of linear tube power. No, that's not it. LFD. I'm drawing a blank. Audible Illusions was supposed to be good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that stuff is, but did I try a tube pre with the solid state amps? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, Kevin, I see what you're saying. Okay, so Kevin makes a very valid point. He's saying that we could find, if we can find a vacuum tube preamp that will give the tube imaging to a dark sounding or a dark shaded amplifier, we may be able to bring it back, right? We may be able to bring it back the other way. But what you're talking about, Kevin, is a certain way of building an audio system where we add one thing in to offset another and this is the typical way that hi-fi audio industry will have you think, because it helps me to sell you more gear. Dude, preamps are 50 grand. You know how much I could increase my sales by telling you guys that preamps were necessary? And you would believe it because it's what everybody else says. It's very unpopular to say don't have a preamp, okay? I say it because I found, I think, a better way. And a preamp in an all-digital rig is simply a volume control. So I'm going to pay 50, 40, 30 more, some people I know with $80,000 preamps, just to control the volume. That pisses me off, okay? I don't like that. That is wasted because there's all these I like efficiency to a certain degree, right? And when I look at the back of I had a $26,000 preamp, a tube pre. And when I look at the back of that thing, and I've got one input and one output, and I've got 15 other inputs, XLR and RCA sitting there empty, and I know what this thing can do, and it's not doing any of it other than controlling volume for one thing. It's not switching for me. That's what a preamp is, a switcher. It switches between sources and then it controls the volume. But if you only have digital, it's not even switching between sources. It's only controlling volume. That bothers me. I've got a $20,000, $25,000 volume control. You know, what a great thing to tell you need, right? Because then I can add a $25,000 sale on top of the $26,000 DAC. But I found a DAC that has a volume control on the ass end of it that is so well made that I think it does not need a preamp. And so I don't run a preamp. So yes, I have preamps that I could throw in there to try and balance it out. That is not what I'm trying to do in my room. If you saw my old rig, I had the 50 boxes, okay? I don't want the 50 boxes anymore. I want, if I had my druthers, okay, what I'd rather have, that's what we say in the South, if I had my druthers. If I had my druthers, I'd rather have 0 boxes and 2 speakers in the room, and that's it. If I could even have no speakers, I'd rather have the presence of music in a room with no freaking audio system. Fuck the audio system. It's a pain in the ass. It's ugly. Oh, yeah, you can say it's pretty art, sculpture, whatever. Get that shit out of the room. Let me have a wicked design, interior design room with plants and cool shit like that, and no freaking metal, hot produced boxes with freaking wires that can pick up noise and dogs can piss on and all that shit, whatever. I don't want any of that shit. If I cannot have it, that would be my dream. A room full of music with no gear. Okay. So I'm trying to simplify. My perfect system right now would be 1 box and 2 speakers. There just isn't anything that is on caliber to do that job that I've come across yet. If I could find something that was powerful enough to run those Fisher and Fisher's 1000s, and it had a DAC as good as Playback Designs, and it had an amplifier that was 250 watts per channel class AB, and it had a streamer that was good as the Playback Design streamer. And if it had all that shit in there, I would have 1 box. I do not want more than 1 box. But unfortunately, I have to go to more than 1 box to get the quality level I want. But the less boxes I can have, the better. So my brain doesn't even work anymore in the manner of, well, maybe I should throw a preamp in to bring these amps around, because then I'm just adding stuff. The way my brain works is, why don't I get some different amps? Fuck those things, man. If they don't have enough leading edge and enough tooth, let me get something more toothy, more leading edge, something with more resolve to it. Those things are perfect for my musical amp offering. So when people call me up and they have Wilson, or they have Magico, or they have Focal, I can sell them something that I know is going to go brilliant with those 3 products, with those speakers. And that's the audio analog amplifier. It's going to be great. With the Fisher and Fisher, it can be either way. You're going to have to extract a little more detail depending on your ears. Okay, some people's ears are really sensitive to that. Mine, I can go with a little bit more resolve to it. I like a little presence on it. So so I know that was a thing. Don't touch Warren's ears. That's it. That's exactly it, bro. That's exactly it. Warren will pin you, if you touch his ears. Website shows 270s out of stock. My bad. I need to have I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, I can pull that. I can put them in there. They're in stock. I've got 2 pair right now, and they're 270 AMTs. And I've got a pair of 170s. I've got a pair of 670s and some 70s. And that's it. I've sold out of everything else. The 770s are gone. The 570s are gone. 470s are gone. Oh, wait, I might have 370s. I can't even keep up. I just got a new shipment, so I don't remember what was in the new shipment. Completely. Do I sell dog pee with a hint of tube flavor? I sell it with a hint of margarita flavor. Hey, Tribe, I just got here. What's up, Vooch? Good to see you, brother. I was drawn to you because of your sexy dance moves and curly hair. Right on, brother. Whatever works. Any Canadian customers? For Fisher and Fisher? Not yet. No. Who knows what's up with Canada? Canada's a weird place, man. Are you up there, man? It's like a freaking vacuum for audio sales. I mean, at my whole time I've ever sold, I've got in 25 years, I could have 0 Canadian sales and it would not affect me. I mean, I basically do. Canadians don't really buy down here very much that I know of. But I can ship, and from Canada, I'll ship direct to you from Germany. It won't go through US and US customs, because I know it's going to be weird shit between us now with the tariffs and everything, unless we come to some sort of thing. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the tariffs. Ion is all tube and IR is all solid state. Okay, that's good to know. Tribe from Houston. Hi-Fi Tribe from Houston. What's up, Arun? I've been to the edge of the universe. I know all kinds of stuff. Have you seen the machine elves? George Washington believed in divine providence. There you go, man. Look up Samadhi Maya, the illusion of the self. It will blow your mind. I'll send a link. I know about the illusion of the self. I've been on several meditations and trips where I've lost self, and that's how I know that dying, if you die of natural causes, right? It's not some horrific accident. That it is a liberation. I'm not scared of dying. I think it will be the most the best feeling thing we've had. You know, if it's natural, I think it's going to be magical and brilliant. You know, it will the self and the ego is a whole parody. It's really funny when you really think of the story. If you guys want to try an exercise, write out the story of your life. Okay, just write it out. Like, you know, I was born in here, and da da da, and then I did this, and then I attended school, and da da da. Take like a page or 2 pages and write out your life story. Okay, just as you see it, and then read it back and read it to somebody, and then read it to somebody again, and read it again. By like the fourth time you read it, you're just going to be like, what the hell kind of bullshit story is this? This is just a story that I've made up. Like this is just a story that is a default that has occurred because I'm not aware that I'm making a story. So it's the default story that I'm running on. And nothing could be you know, do you think when you die, you transition from this life and you're still the person you are? Do you think you even remember your name? You think you're like, oh, I'm Mike Powell, the guy from Atlanta that started Hi-Fi Tribe. You think that's how I go into death? You think I go? I don't think so. I think the instant I die, I become one with the universe. I become one. And I don't, there is no, I am one with all. I have no identity. There is no Mike Powell. I don't even, that means nothing. It has no connection. It's gone. That's why, you know, people, I know it's nice to say, like, I'm going to see my, you know, brother when I die and all that kind of stuff. I think that makes us feel better, but I don't think we are even connected when we die. And it would be an interesting conversation. And if we ever do, you know, interesting deep conversations with Mikey, we can do, you know, some of those streams and we can talk about stuff like that. But um very interesting. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, send me a link, man. I'd like to check it out. I'm a Lutheran, Catholic light. Yeah, I know. Catholic is when you I mean, it's funny when you look at like Monty Python and you see how they make fun of it. It's really funny because you get it. Like I never when I went back to church and saw all the formality and everything like that, I laughed and all of a sudden I got Monty Python why they do it because it's just that's how it looks, you know. And it's very very traditional, very dramatic. Wow, some serious drama, you know. And but it's good eating, it's good watching, it's like it's good, it's cool, it's a good purpose to me. um it's good shit. Jesus, you know, the Lord, to me it's all good vibe. There's nothing there, it's the light. Okay, I know a lot of stuff is cloaked in it, and it's there's many facets of it and many different things, but all in all the general thing is it's spirituality and it's light and it's love and compassion. So it's a good vibe even if you don't agree with the little granular ideas. I think the base root of it is good vibration, man. You know, my family is Catholic too. Yes. Hey, Mikey, do you have any 300B tube amps available? Oh, no, I don't because I have one pair and I'm keeping them. But I do have some bum, ba-da-dum, 845s. I've got some 845s and I've got some kick-ass 845s that are dual 845, each monoblock. They're big monoblocks. They sit on the floor, man. And they have two 845s run in parallel. So it's still single-ended triode 845. I think they make like 50 watts per channel and sound amazing. And I've got them sitting in my barn and they are for sale. I liked them so much that I was keeping them. Keep this in mind. These are things that I was keeping for my own self, for my own collection, you know, that at this point, being a dealer and selling systems has become far more important than my own personal pursuit. So all the stuff that I kept for my own hoard, and you know Mikey's level of quality, like how I like a certain level of quality. So anything I'm keeping for my hoard, you can guarantee is of that level of quality. I've got a set of 845 monos. Yes, they are made in China. Because this is, I bought them, I don't know how long ago. I actually traded them. They came from Pure Audio Project. They belonged to Zev of Pure Audio Project. And we showed one year and they was using these things. I was like, these amps are sick. Let me trade you cables. So I traded him cables because I was doing cables for the room for the amps. And then I got them and I'm like, oh my God, they sound so good. And then I wanted to mod them because I opened them up and they're all point to point inside and so easy to see where the caps are. I was like, and I could get the values and I'm like, and I ordered some new better quality caps, you know, that weren't the cheap ones. And I was like ready to do, and they went out to the barn and I set them in the barn and I never did the mod. And there they sit, bone stock. And I could even set you up with a bag full of the caps that I bought, you know, if you want to mod them yourself or have somebody do it. And they're made by, one of the big, I think they're made by Shuguang, like the company that makes the tubes. It was their flagship pair of monoblocks that they made. They may be made in Taiwan, but no, I think they're made in China. Anyways, if you want a sick pair of tube monoblocks that are 845s, which are phenomenal sounding tubes, and they're powerful single-ended triodes. And single-ended triode is really the only tube amp you want. And in my opinion, it's the only tube amp I want is single-ended triode. That's why I love the big Nats, is because single-ended triode's normally limited to 8 watts with 300 Bs. But if I can get 40 watts from a single-ended triode, it's like magic. You can all of a sudden use way more speakers. So I've got those for sale. Take them off my hands. I'll make some ridiculous price. Let's see. Why don't I make the price right now? $6,000. So $3,000 per chassis. And they're each 60 pounds probably. You won't find anything for 6K for a pair. I'll sell them for 6K as they are. I need to see if I think I still have the boxes for them. These would probably behoove us to put them on a pallet. I wouldn't ship them normal FedEx. So they would go double stacked on a pallet. Each box is about the size of a pallet. So it would be 2 boxes high, you know, on a pallet. So shipping will be $600 in the United States, unless you drive and come and pick them up. Yeah, so let me know, Andrew. Oh, it's Andrew. Jesus, Andy. You came down before, man. Dude, these are sick amps, dude. Just call me tomorrow and I'll work with you, brother. You've already given me enough business. I'll make you even better deal. Vanta Black is the blackest black ever. Yes. H. Moser makes a gorgeous watch. That's right. Yeah. So I thought it was their thing. The Moser looks like a hole in the dark. Yep. Super cool. Nope. All the guys that play baseball with Joey and everything are instantly friendly. I get high fives, hugs, the full deal when I take them to the ball games. That's awesome, bro. The guys, not they guys. I got you. Vanta Black is nanotube paint. Oh, cool. Okay. Right on. We also use it on the inside of cabinets to absorb standing waves. What kind of graphene nanotube? Is that what it is? 1x7, 29 cents closeout speakers. We bought 1,000 of them. Wow. That's whacked out, dude. And do you have a picture of what that shit looks like? 300 of them. Like, how do you put 300 drivers in a speaker? And that sounds like an absolute nightmare, bro. I don't even know how it could work. Like, I'd love to see what that looks like. This is great because this guy represents, Jimmy Dean represents the black art, these guys. Okay. So these guys, you're one of those guys. And I love you because you guys are fun to see at the shows because you got the most whacked out, crazy ass designs. You guys just don't even care about anything that they say. You make your own shit. It's like those guys, that guy with the layer cake drivers that went all upside. I mean, there's no way. When he was describing it, I had a speaker manufacturer telling me The stuff that they said they went into the room and the guy was describing the technology to him, and he's like, I totally know what the guy's talking about, and none of it makes sense. I told him I was a speaker designer, but he kept telling me this shit anyways, like he didn't even care, and it didn't make sense. Whatever, anybody can do anything. But so it's really cool because back in the day, we used to see a lot of guys like this, a lot of people um, just blazing a new trail, doing something that had never been done before. We rarely see that at the shows anymore. So it was really cool to see the layer cake thing. That was super fun and interesting. I'll probably get more time with that in Sacramento. Watching all the Exponent videos seems like this year was the year of active speakers. What's your thoughts? Yeah. Look, if there was an active speaker that had a streamer on it that didn't need anything and you could just plug your speakers in and you didn't need any gear, that would be a dream. That was like what I'm talking about. No boxes and speakers. That would be absolutely the best, period, for me and in my opinion. But nobody's been able to make something that can compete. They sound too hi-fi, or they don't. It's just, again, it's nobody's been able to do it. The second somebody can, I'll be all over it. If Fisher and Fisher could have an active speaker that had a streamer and everything on it, and it sounded freaking phenomenal, done. Forget about it. I would never have another box. I wouldn't, if Fisher and Fisher would have Playback Designs do their DAC, and maybe Playback Designs do their amp, and it could all be put inside a module, and then you just plug that thing in. That's it. That's it. So it's where things are going, in many ways. But people aren't, I heard a good one the other day. It's not even on the market. You don't even know the name of this brand. And I am actually trying to get a lock on it for distribution. I'll be able to do great with it. They have a special algorithm that does some special math and corrects, and I was freaking impressed. They use like Corian, so it's stone, it's fake stone. It's a synthetic stone. It was using Accuton drivers, and it did some magic shit. I was like, okay, wow, respect. And this was the first prototype that they showed me. I was like, holy shit. So and I know some other folks, people come to me, you guys, people come to me before they bring stuff to market because they know I'll do really well with it. And so when I find something, baby, it'll come. BMW made an X6 and Vanta Black, and H. Moser makes some Vanta Black. Yeah, right. It's cool. Cool stuff. Have I heard of Lab 12 SET amps? They're pure Class A set amps out of Greece. I can't remember if I have or not. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, typically I like, let's see. I'm going to take a look. Are these no? Oh, you said Greece. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Let me see what they are. Oh yeah, these guys. Yeah, that's not an SET. They are using a non-SET tube wired in single-ended, which is that's cheating. It's not a real single-ended trial. These are KT150. It looks like 65 watt per channel. Let's see. Tori increases dual mono, separate. Yeah, it's an integrated. These kind of things don't really get me too fired up. Let's see, specifications. Recommended. Let's see, tubes for 6M1Ps, KT150s. They're power pentodes. They're not SET. So let's see if they have one that's an SET. So those two are not SET. The preamp, the Mighty, the Suono is not an SET. Mighty might be SET. There we go. Okay, single-ended. What do these features? KT88. Oh, EL34 or 65 or EL30. Yeah, triode, ultra linear. No way, man. No way, brother. So this is not an SET. This is they're wired in single-ended, but this is a pentode. This is not a power. They're power pentodes, man. They're power pentodes that are wired in triode. Yuck. Yuck. No way. I don't like that. I've never heard one sound good where it's like a pentode wired in triode. No, you get yourself a real, if you want an SET, get a real freaking triode tube. It's like saying, I don't know how to relate it to motorcycles, brother, but it's like saying, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to do the comparison, but it's not a triode. So you're just wiring something in triode. So you're like using half the tube or whatever it is, or I don't know exactly the technicality of it, but it's not a triode tube. It's not meant to do it that way. They're cheating it and they're making it wired a certain way. And anytime I've heard that where you do the switch ultralinear or triode, ultralinear is always better with pentodes in every amp that I've ever checked out. Jimmy Dean, is it textured or something? Are they micro length waves of light you are absorbing? He's talking about waves of sound, not light. Hey, it's not just me that thinks the price of preamps is outrageous. A pre shouldn't cost more than an actual amp. Yeah, but I mean, you have to understand this is a luxury market, and many times you can charge what you can get away with. You know what I mean? I mean, you have customers that buy stuff, and companies that make stuff for those customers, and this is customers that have more money than any of us, right? And they require or they want or they desire exclusivity with everything they buy. So that means when they go to, the car dealer, they don't want to go to the car dealer where there's regular people in the waiting room. They want to go to the car dealer where there's special people, whatever you call it, elites, special people that are privileged or whatever, successful, whatever you want to call it, above average, right? Like a Bentley dealership, right? And Bentley is a great example because, as you know, Bentley uses Volkswagen parts. Okay. So you could have like a sensor module, okay, inside a Bentley. And there's a story about this. And it's a $130 Volkswagen part that if you buy it as a Volkswagen part using the Volkswagen part number, it's $150. If you buy it for your Bentley at the Bentley dealer with the Bentley part number on it for the same identical part, it's $4,000. So the Bentley Corporation knows that there are people out there that like to be treated exclusively like they're special. And so they sell them a $150 Volkswagen part for $4,000 so that they can feel special. And that customer does feel special, and it's no big deal to them. They're not missing the 4,000, doesn't matter. But so therein lies a very real part of hi-fi is that shit. The certain things that they make for those Dan D'Agostino amps, perfect example, $250,000. There's nothing even close that brings those things that they would be $250,000. But some people want to feel special and they want to go spend $250,000 because they have it. It's nothing to them. So they go spend $250,000 for a $50,000 pair of amplifiers, and then they're special. And they can spend like that and it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't bother them. It's not like they miss it, or anything like that. They didn't have to stretch to make the purchase, nothing like that. So it's a whole fantasy stroke job. And many times the luxury market is just that. It's a fantasy stroke job for the ego of those that want to feel special. And they are special because they've got more money than anybody. So that makes them special, evidently. So, so that's a whole nother conversation. What's the better choice for a 12 by 14 bedroom? Got to be closer to the wall near the TV. 70, 170, 270. Front ported or bottom ported design like the AMT. After hearing the Piegas yesterday, try the 270 AMT. 12 by 14 bedroom. I mean, 70s are fine, man. You get enough if you want them closer to the wall, and you can sort of point the ass end of it towards the corner. 70s is all you need, brother. 70s on stands. 170 is going to give you more output. Yeah, it's hard to compare. It's like it goes lower through more cabinet volume, but the drivers are more robust, kind of like on the 70 than the 170. The 270, now you get into a more robust driver and you have an AMT. But the 170 and the 70s both have. So if you like the AMT, then it's the you know, the 270 AMT. But 70s with stands are like $6,000. And they're, what are we talking about? Double that, like 12 for the 270 AMT. 270 AMT in any regular room could be your main speaker. They're that good. So it could be either, whatever you want. If you like the AMT, then 270 is the entry level AMT version that you can do in Fisher and Fisher. Digital volume controls make me nervous. They can be temperamental, especially if you have powerful amps. Give me an analog volume pot any day. Okay, so Carlos here is making a very incorrect assumption. Okay. What Carlos is assuming is that because of volume control is on a digital to analog converter, that it means that it's a digital volume control. Nothing could be further from the truth. Two things. First of all, a correctly implemented digital volume control can be quite surprisingly good. They're not temperamental. The problem with them is they truncate bits in order to make the volume work. Okay. There is something called lead that, if I'm not mistaken, that's correct, the term for it, that alleviates the problem of the truncation of the signal bits in order to make it louder or softer. But in the not in the audio analog, I think, has a digital volume control, but it's still very good. Once you get to, and I'd have to double check, the MA3 Meitner is new with me, so I have to find out. But on both the playback designs, it's full analog volume control. And so, and a volume pot is something that rotates and can get sticky, and talk about can get weird. Analog volume pot is not nearly as good as a relay ladder volume control, much better. So if you really want to get into it, bro, you're going to want an analog relay ladder to control your volume. Not a volume pot that has grease and a spindle and a thing that turns around and tolerance and little things that click that can get worn out. None of that shit. None of that shit happens on a relay ladder. Only cheap DACs have digital volume controls, and the ones that are more expensive have analog volume controls on them. The real Vanta is expensive. That's what I thought. It must be applied thin. Thick coats will just be a waste. Of course, yeah, it's like single layer graphene or whatever. If you want one box and two speakers, get a Harman Kardon 930. What are you fucking nuts, bro? No way. And Infinity RS4B. I'll let you know how it sounds in a month in my second rig. Okay, that's cool, man. Yeah, okay. So what I would say about that is, if you want something for $3,000, then do what Vooch is talking about, okay? If you're talking to Mikey, you're not putting anything named Harman Kardon anywhere near your rig. And most likely not Infinity either. Now, if this is an older one, maybe it's something cool. Is this an older one, Vooch? Because I don't know these numbers. But if you're talking about the old school 1989 Harman Kardon or something like that, okay, now we're cooking with fire. But the new shit or new Infinity or new Harman Kardon, no way. Not in a million years. What I have is considerably more expensive than what you're talking about, but it's an exotic, It's one box and two speakers. And your Harman Kardon twin power receiver, I don't think has a streamer on it, brother. So it's not one box. You need to add a streamer, or you need to add a turntable. And then if you need to add a turntable, you need to add a turntable, and you need to add a phono pre. So that becomes three boxes. And and a cartridge, um, 3 boxes and a cartridge, and a turntable motor controller if you really want to be properly controlled in the exact 33 and a third rotation, and then you probably don't want a direct drive or a belt. You want something like an electromagnetic drive or something that floats. Oh God, dude, don't even get me started. But what Vooch is talking about is vintage. I have the feeling this is like vintage things. You can find them at garage sales. You can find them on Facebook Marketplace, and you can buy them for a couple $100, and you're going to get your money's worth for sure, if I'm not mistaken. Johnny Crypto. Hey, Mike, you've been watching others so experts say the Magical Big Rig was amazing and one of the best rooms at Expona. I don't get it. Okay. Um, um, okay, so I'm going to give you an opinion, okay? So I'm not saying I'm right, okay? I'm just going to tell you how I feel straight from the heart. If you think that rig sounded good, you don't know hi-fi. You have no fucking concept of what a good sounding rig is. You simply think expensive shit is cool. Those are the people that like that system. Audiophiles know way better than that system did not sound good. It was overbased. It was flat dimensional. It was weak. It sucked. It was like a fucking embarrassment. Anybody that was in the industry, I had people, industry veterans. I'm not talking about these made up experts that are fucking YouTube guys. I'm talking about real motherfuckers that have been in audio for 50 years, in the inside selling, went to that room and said that room was an embarrassment to our industry. That was the inside scoop. They are harming our industry. They're not helping us. They're harming us. They're putting something $2 million that does not pull off magic at all. It's, again, I've said this before, totally funny name for a company that does not pull off magic. Okay, now Vooch will tell us his Magicos pull magic, and I'm sure in certain rigs Magicos may pull magic. But at that show at Axpona this year, there was zero magic going on in that room. It was embarrassing. It was a full tilt embarrassment. I feel bad for them. I was embarrassed for them when I was there. I was like, wow, really? This is what you are pawning off as $2 million worth of audio? No way. No way. There was $50,000 audio systems at that show that sounded way more balanced, way better imaging, way more realism. This just sounded like a big, boomy, expensive piece of dog shit. Okay. Again, my opinion, I could be totally wrong, but Mikey, I tell you how I feel. So if you went into that room, if people went into that room and they think it sound good, either they're getting paid to say that because Magico they're on the book somehow, or they're trying to suck Magico's balls to get good favor from Magico, or they're sucking up, right? Or there's some ulterior motive, or they just don't know good sound. They don't know how to tell. And they go in there and they think that sounds good. It's because they're blown away with how big and expensive everything is, and they just don't know good sound. That's what I would say. If someone has told you that they thought that was one of the best rooms, that is your sign this person doesn't know shit. This person is clueless. This person has no fucking concept of what good sound is. They are in it for a different reason. There's something wrong there. That's what I would say. And I don't care if I'm pissing people off. I'm going to tell you what I feel. And this is my opinion. And I'm entitled to have my own damn opinion. And you come to this channel because you like my opinion. Okay. If you don't like it, you can leave. You don't have to watch me. Okay. I'm entitled to say what I think. The industry hates it when I just talk the way I do. Industry hates it because I'm giving you guys an honest, direct opinion. And nobody likes to do that because everybody's afraid that Magico won't like them or whatever. I don't care. Fucking Magico, do a better job, dudes. You didn't do a good job there. And I'd love to see the CEO of Magico tell me that he thinks they did a good job. My guess is they know that the room sounded shitty. And they're not going to say anything. Of course they wouldn't, but they know inside they did not hit it out of the park with that room. Okay. They may have impressed people, but they know that they didn't hit it out of the park. And if they think that they did hit it out of the park, that's even worse, because then we know that company doesn't know good sound. Like, they don't even know how to make shit sound good. So we would just give up on that company altogether. I'm not willing to give up on that company. I think that it was just a bad room for a bad 1 year at one room at one show, and it didn't turn out. Luck of the draw, it didn't work out that year. I'm not holding it against them. I'm not saying it's a bad brand. I'm saying that room did not sound good. So I'm not giving up on Magico. I will go to another room and try and listen and hope that it sounds better next time. Vooch, who's on here, has Magico. They're the little guys. They're the A3s or whatever. And he loves them. He says they're magic for him, right? And I'm sure there's other people that love their Magicos, but that room did not hit it off, man. And trust me, people that have been doing this a long time, exhibiting in rooms, went there and came back and they said, "Did you see that room?" And I said, "I did." And they said that was an embarrassment, and I agree. But no big deal. It doesn't mean that they suck. It means that they had one bad show. That's all it means. Doesn't mean they're a bad speaker. It doesn't mean anything other than that room at that show wasn't good for one time. So maybe they'll get it next time. And that's why I tell you guys, you can't judge a brand just by one time at one show, because it's man, some of these rooms are hard to work with. Some of them you can't overcome things. We went to another example, and God bless Gary. I love you, man. You're a good guy. The Von Schweikert room with Gary, and Rockna and everything. It didn't have the same. It wasn't as good as Southwest. Like, when I went to Southwest, it was one of the best rooms there. I gave it props, and I told you guys from my show report, this is one of the best rooms. We went at Axpona, and we were like, dude, what happened? And even he said, man, we're having trouble with this room. And we were like, we feel for you, dude. I mean, been there, I've been there. I know what it's like. So am I willing to say Von Schweikert is no good? No, not at all. I just know they had a hard time with the room. And chances are that they figured it out by Sunday, right? By the time Sunday comes, when we have problems with the rooms, usually we get it figured out Saturday midday. And then by the end of the day, Saturday, it's great. And then Sunday, it's great. And then people have gone or whatever. But it's always that end of Sunday, everything's just going great. So that may have happened with that room. And I did not hear that happened with Magico. So maybe that happened with the Magico room on Sunday, late Sunday. Maybe they fixed it. But when we went on Saturday, it was not good. And I heard that unanimously. John saying the same thing. I heard it from many people. There was a lot of hype surrounding that room, and I think it was a failure. That's just my opinion. So there you have it. Well, Jimmy, the BMW was $300,000. The Moser watch is 10 to 100K, depending upon what you want. I'm sure both are real Vanna Black. Yes, I'm sure they are. Mikey, you can use your front wall as a baffle and mount the speakers in the wall and all the gear in separate rooms so you don't see it, like the dude you had on the live stream, or PHYHP. I don't know what that is. I thought about doing that. But then you have to be, man, that's like, then, your room would have to be perfect dimensions. What if, you're getting a standing wave with the dimensions of your room? I thought of putting 21-inch subs. I have the room furred out in the corners. My corners are not 90-degree corners. When I built the room, I had them brought out like 15 degrees. So there is no perfect 90-degree corners. And that means I've got a pie-shaped, if you look down to the ground, it's like a pie-shaped hollow spot in the wall. I could easily cut a hole in the sheetrock and mount a subwoofer into that wall, a big-ass 21. And I was going to do dual 21s in the wall like that, but then you're just freaking hoping that you have them properly set up, that they happen to work in that exact way. But recording studios do it that way, and then they fix it with EQ and all sorts of stuff. But again, then you're really putting too much in. And the more I do this, the more I want simple plug and play stuff where there's not a whole bunch of crap done to it, You go out of body, the edge of the universe. There you go. Then you will see what look like stars. Those are other universes beyond the great abyss. I was afraid to go further. Yeah, no doubt. Like you feel like you won't come back, right? I had a really we got Tribe down in Los Angeles, and these guys are actual astronomers, and they go up to man, it was kind of near Bakersfield, half the way to Bakersfield. I can't remember. There's the highest point in that area in LA Basin or whatever, and they look at stars, and they have concrete pads that they've built there, and these little buildings that have these fucking intense, very expensive telescopes, and we were looking at shit that was like, they're like, the light that you're looking at right now is whatever, something unfathomable, 500 million light years, 500 million years old. You're like, what? How might that star might not even be there anymore? It's like, it's just the weirdest shit to try and grasp the vastness of the universe. Oh, that's a whole nother conversation. So I'm gonna just go on, move on. Hey everybody, yeah. Love to you and the tribe. Deborah and I are setting up for a show today, Mikey. We have 12 great song choices with all of our new rig improvement for the Fisher and Fisher speakers sounding awesome. That's great, Kenny. Rock on, buddy. Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy. Totally. That's exactly what it is. Deep Thoughts with Mike Handy. I had a near death experience about 15 years ago. I was playing golf with my late father. When I came back, I didn't even recognize your wife. You didn't even recognize your wife. No way, dude. We want to hear the story. You can't do that to us. We need to hear the story, dude. You got to come on. Not right now, because I'm getting ready to call this show. It's been, oh my God, it's been almost 2 hours, dude. I did not mean to do this. You got to come on as a guest, Dave. Do it. Call me up. We'll set up a time one of these Wednesdays or Sundays. We want to hear the story. And I'm speaking for the whole tribe. We want to hear the story. That is going to be an amazing story. We have to. So he was playing golf. So that was either a lightning strike, or it was a stroke / heart attack or heat stroke. Something like that. Your ass fell down. You went there. You went into the abyss, and you came back, and then you had amnesia. That is crazy. We want to hear the story. While dead, nearly dead. Okay. I was playing golf. Not sure if it was heaven or hell. I don't remember how I hit the ball. Oh, no doubt, dude. You were hosel rocketing off into the brush. Mikey, I just wanted to know if you heard the audio note field coil speakers. Of course I did, man. I love to go see Peter. And more than anything, I'm like, I want to go see Peter. Where's Peter? And I go there to see the dude. I know he's got cool audio gear, but I go to see the guy. And it's great. It's always the same. It always sounds great. He always plays fun shit. He's so loose and laid back and not giving a shit. That I love the guy. Again, I said last time, he flicks the dust off the stylus with his finger. He yanks the freaking thing off the record, and he doesn't care. It's like, it doesn't matter. He's just playing music. He's not trying to be some holier than thou, even though that stuff is crazy level hi-fi. So I did hear it. It was great fun. We had a great time there. Jesus is inside the inner universe. The outside universe is like a hologram out of body. There you go. Yep. Don't talk to spirit guides. Keep moving. Yeah. Again, maybe you want to come on too, Jimmy Dean. If you have some experience with that too, and we can talk about that, because now this is like we go into metaphysical conversation, and we can do this, man. I mean, I can add a third excuse me, I can add a third slot where we talk about that which is not audio. Maybe we do that, where we call it that which is not audio show. But that is a very interesting, this is a whole long conversation. The concept that what we sense is a simulation. The only reason it's there is because we're here to observe it, and it exists as potential without the observer. But there is something holding it all together, because we all kind of see the same holodeck, right? To a certain degree, right? There's small variances in perception, but when you take things down to an extremely infinitesimal level, Higgs boson level, um, uh, there is far more not matter than there is matter. Okay, so check that out. When we magnify things, we magnify it and go deep, 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 super deep, way deeper than atoms and molecules, right? Like into the quarks and muons and gluons and freaking Higgs boson, right? There's more nothingness than there is matter. So everything is vibration. So everything is frequency, whether it's light, whether it's matter, whether it's sound, it's all just different levels of frequency and density. So it's and I'm not a physicist and I don't claim to be able to even talk like that. I'm just going off the things that I've seen, but it is it's an interesting conversation, let's put it that way. Be one big line array. Yes, exactly. Your the speaker would be one big line array. Yeah, maybe. It would be just a like a 4x8 sheet of plywood with all drivers on it, Your monolith speaker could pair with Nelson Pass Beast with 1,000 JFETs amp, 1 JFET per speaker driver. There you go. Right on. Hey, Mikey and Tribe, what's up, Dan? Hope everyone had a great weekend. We did, thanks. I love the crazy look of audio gear just as much as the music coming from them. Well, then you're a good customer. Sep sounds good. Like I after a while, I don't even care what it looks like. I don't even give a shit. Like if I'm trying to do some art installation, right? And I'm trying to express my artistic talent with how I design a room, then maybe I design the gear into the room and into the decor, and I'm going for a full tilt look where I'm incorporating electronics into the furniture, and I'm making it a part of the design. But nobody does that level. I mean, very few people do that level. And when they do, they want minimalist shit. They don't want big, crazy. I don't know. I think the big, crazy systems that you see from across the world when you're on Facebook or YouTube and you see these giant systems, I think they look ridiculous to me. It looks like a Rube Goldberg apparatus. It looks like it's just dildosity, complete dildosity. Like all these boxes and cables and racks and all this shit, it's like a giant robot vomited into the room, It's like fucking gross, dude. Like, it just gives me agita looking at it. I get verklempt. It's like, I can't take it. It's just, it's like just, I don't know, strata of like in the brain. It's like, I don't know. I don't like that kind of shit. I want it simple, minimalist. That is very old school to make shit with to overdo it. It's like a Cray computer, man. Like, come on, the world isn't there. When I look at it, it's archaic to me. It's just like looking at something archaic. There are things that are so much better. It's like, would you go to war now in a Sherman tank? Would you want to be in a Sherman tank right now for any sort of action? If you were mowing people down at a parade, maybe. But if you're in war on the battlefield, you don't want to be in a Sherman tank. It's like, and it's archaic and just like, oh my God, like, look at how we used to fight. That's horrible. Like, how could those things even do anything? They were such a calamity in many ways. I know at the time they did their job, but now you look at it, and that's how I feel when I look at those big audio systems with all that iron and all the shit and all the boxes. I'm just like, oh God, ugh, it's gross to me. It's revolting in many ways to me. So I can understand that you like that, and that's cool. I'm over it. I'm past it. SCP sound good as well. I don't know what single-ended pentode. I don't think so. That's just my opinion. Sim Audio Moon 891 is an all-in-one. I would like to listen to volume control. Looks awesome, but not sure how good their DAC streamer combo will hold up compared to the likes of playback. Yeah, but playback is their DAC and streamer. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're really taking a risk when you have a DAC streamer inside a all-in-one. It definitely needs to be modular, and it definitely needs. So you should be able to see it on the back, like on either a inside on a daughter board that you can pull off, or on the back on a cartridge that you can pull out. If you don't see that, then you're really kind of you could be tied to that thing. And then when it gets outdated, because that's a computer, those are going to change. So they need to be updatable at the same time. Ohm load gets low quick, even with series wiring, of course, man. So we are making slide out quick change TPA 33255 to split up the ohm load. Far out, man. Like trying to make, trying to shovel 50 pounds of shit into a 5 pound bag. And I'm not saying that the speakers are shit or whatever, but it's like, it's just what I love it when people do this. It's like something that's totally not meant to work. These guys are figuring out how to make something work. They're gonna fucking do it. That's what like the attitude is. We're gonna fucking make it happen. It's like there's no way all those drivers should work together. It's gonna be an ohm nightmare. It's gonna be a comb filtering nightmare or whatever. We're gonna fucking do it. We don't care what anybody says. We're gonna make it happen. It's like the human will and at the ultimate level. And then when you make it work, then it's total ego triumph, right? Because you forced that shit to happen, even though it went against every law of physics or whatever. So they're gonna make it happen. So I applaud that because it's great to watch. The active speakers you're talking about, are they using DSP? Yes. Porsche and VW, two different part numbers, two vastly different prices, same exact part. Yes, exactly. Same with Bentley. The champagne with the watch experience. Yep. Tribe viewers from around the world, can you please give Mikey a smash down on the like button and subscribe to his show? Show him the love, everybody, as he gives us music, folks, so much. Thanks. Thanks, Kenny. Appreciate it. Yeah, everybody, give a thumbs up if you haven't done it. Help that algorithm. Aloha, Tribe. Mikey, what's up, Dan? Aloha. Same with parts from Audi and Lamborghini. There you go. Yeah. Special people with special needs. Right. For those, for the Bentley dealer. My system is modest. My amp is Sansui 9090. Could I use a preamp for my DAC? I would guess. I would need to know more, but it sounds like you could. Yeah, we bought a bunch of 8-channel DSPs, and we have some 4x16 and a half, 64 amp hours PO4 slab cells. So that's, what's that, batteries? It's all got to fit inside somehow to look at the original movie prop. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, boy. Digital volume control in 32 or 64 bit is just fine. Okay, cool. Okay, because you truncate bits. And if you got 64 bit and you're truncating a little, maybe it's no big deal. It's not a transformer. The best volume control is a the best volume controls a TVC, volume control to, my brain isn't working. I don't know what a TVC is. You'd have to have a really dead quiet room and a really low noise floor, even at 16-bit, for digital volume control to be an issue. Okay, so there you go. Mikey, how would you compare the Fisher AMT with their soft dome? More extension, airier, more air, and just higher resolve. The AMT that I've heard have been on the more, no, definitely not analytical. This is the smoothest. In fact, like the AMTs are 9-inch AMTs on the Fisher and Fisher 1000s, and I've got them like 10 feet from my head. I'm still trying to find out how to bring more detail out of them. Yeah, you have heard a speaker that was designed, with detailed analytical tuning. It's not the tweeter's fault. It's the tuner's fault. So just get that into your mind, because a lot of people go, oh, AMTs are forward sounding. No, they're fucking not. A speaker that is tuned analytically is forward sounding. If you tune it back, then an AMT is not going to be forward sounding. It all depends on how the speaker's tuned. So if you have heard 3, 4, 5 AMTs that are forward sounding, you have heard 3, 4, 5 speakers that are tuned forward sounding. It's not the tweeter's fault. It's the tuner's fault. So let's remember that. But in the Fisher and Fisher, extremely smooth. People are always like, I've never heard such detail be so smooth. Even David Chesky commented, I think they put the wrong speakers in the wrong room. I think so too. Magico can sound incredible. My buddies sound pretty damn great. That's great. I think so too. I think in their zeal to big dick everybody else and to have the most expensive room at the show, they overdid it. And it's funny. Ha ha ha. You guys, I mean, it's like, It's what you get for trying to be the big dick. What happens is you overdo it. You overstep your britch. You what is it called? You overfill your britches. You overstep your boundaries. You overfill your cup. Whatever the euphemism is for it. You overdo it in your zeal to beat somebody else and to be the most crazy thing. You end up sounding like crap. So you end up getting I don't want to say the dildos that like it, but you end up getting people that don't know any better that like it. And that's, I mean, look, if you're selling to people that don't know any better, then cool. But if you're trying to sell to people that know good sound, those were too big. Those speakers were too big for that low of a ceiling. It was not in that type of a room. It was totally too much bass. It's overdone. I was thinking about a ladder-based analog volume pot, not Alps-based pot types. Okay, you said volume pot. Ladder pot. I'm talking about a board with a bunch of relays on it. If you're talking about a stepped attenuator, it's still a rotational device. How long has Fisher and Fisher been around? 30 years. And why are you and a few tribe members the only people talking about them? Because they have no U.S. representation. This was the biggest blessing or gift that I could have run into in my hi-fi career in terms of getting a distribution lock on a brand. My guess is people were afraid to import something that was as heavy as stone. So they thought, well, this import, the weight, it's going to be too much weight, and moving them around in my warehouse is too intense or something. I don't know why. I have no idea why nobody ever brought them into the United States. But it is the most stupid thing for somebody to have overlooked. Yeah, so I brought them in and I've got a lock on them. Nobody else is gonna, anybody, my tribe locations will be the only places selling them. And so they're very shortly, it won't be, right now we've got 10 tribe members. Is that a few? Okay, so a few maybe sounds like two, but we've got at least 10 locations for sure in the United States that have Fisher and Fisher. Every month it gets more. Before long, we'll have 50 locations in the United States, then 100 locations in the United States with Fisher and Fisher. So don't underestimate me. Don't underestimate what I will do. It's one of the biggest mistakes anybody could make. I play stupid many times and I play an oddball, but you'll see. So anyways, what you can think of it as is like you're at the cusp of learning about a great brand. So you are at the inception before they're $250,000. You are at the inception of a brand that you've not known about that, all I have to do is describe to you how they're made. And if you know much about speakers and you've done any listening around, all I have to do is say they're solid 1-inch thick slate stone cabinets using custom drivers and handmade in Germany to exacting German specification. That should kind of give you some sort of all Mundorf crossover components, not one Chinese thing in the design, except for maybe a resistor or two from Taiwan, something like that. But everything else is Mundorf. So they're new to the United States. There's many brands like that. How come nobody knows about Block Audio except for one or two dealers and a couple thing? How come, nobody knew about, I could go about every brand starts at some point. There was a point 10 years ago where we didn't know, Borison wasn't around, right? And all of a sudden that thing's on the map. Okay. So how come that's only been around for a year? So, the question you're asking is because it's new to the United States. That's why it's new to the United States. So I will keep having the buyers on time after time again. Um, I mean, I took a video. If you look in my video shorts, you'll see David Chesky, the record producer who produces high level recordings, like audiophile recordings, sitting in our room listening to Fisher and Fisher, commenting on how beautiful and detailed they are without being harsh. He asked for a private listening session after the show. That's how impressed he was with the sound. Let me come back. Can I come back after the show and listen to my recordings? He came back and listened to his recordings. And then he went into how magnificent it sounded. That's David Chesky. So, um, you know, what more can I say? They're phenomenal. Come listen to them. Go to a show. Buy them, you know. Cheers, Mikey and the tribe. Luther, what's up, Luth? 210, man. I got to cruise. Another night. It was wild, bud. Yeah, another night. Yeah, you got to tell me about that, man. That's really cool. The Vatican have large astronomical telescopes. I wonder why. To see little baby Jeebus orbiting the Earth, man. Fraser Mountain. There you go. For the stars. I lived in LA 17 years, now in Cincinnati. I think that might be it, Fraser Mountain. Spend my day in the ER as my old body like to let play for some attention from nice nurses. All good, but it confirms to remember living your life. Happy Easter. Yes. I hope you're all right, man. I hope you're all right. The Creator is infinite and fills the universe with his presence. The Creator is one. Hello. Thank you. That's called solipsism. Are you trying to say solipsism? Are you trying to say socialism? It's the satanic sin. Well, okay, and then that's another thing. If we're talking and we're having the conversation, if you are Christian, right, you believe that unless you are born again, you're gonna go to hell. Okay, you have to accept Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior, or you go to hell. So anybody saying that the Lord is anybody not agreeing with that, they're gonna say they're satanic. So I get it. Yeah, I get it. I mean, it makes perfect sense. It's just like, I wish I could say the other dealers were satanic. Wouldn't that be great? I mean, what a way to sell, just say, if you do it my way, you're going to go to heaven. You're going to go to a better place. And if you do it his way, any of the other dealers, it's satanic sin. You're going to go to hell. So it's the ultimate sales pitch, it really is. And I'm not disrespecting anybody's faith by saying that, but I would still bring that into a debate and say that Jesus and salvation is the ultimate sales pitch. It is the ultimate. You can't beat it. There's nothing more powerful. Carlos Gomez, Cosmos Step Attenuators. Yeah, I've got one right up there. I've got two of them. They're great, man. Someone should make a speaker called the Higgs boson, right? For sure. Like mini truck audio systems from the 80s, 2412s in the bed just because. Yeah, I know. What's happening? Our life is 1%, and the other 99% is spiritual for sure. I got to rush through these, man. I got to go. Technology can sometimes be our friend, sometimes be our energy. Some people prefer an old Stradivarius violin compared to something new. I think it was something with the wood grew different back then. Could be. What up, tribe? Any use Fisher and Fisher, Mikey? No, there's none, brother. None. Nothing. Everybody keeps them. They love them. And if anybody wants to sell them, I give them 80% if they want to sell them back to me. They get 80 points on the dollar, not some stupid other bullshit. So yeah. Hi there, David. Would you invite Ron from What's the Best Forum listen to your big rig? Well, of course. There's an open Ron has an open invitation with his wife Tinka. They can both come. And he's already said thank you. Do you know anything about Brunoko tube amps out of Korea? I know nothing. Hey Kenny, what's up? That makes sense. Go kick some ass and make great sound, America. Fisher and Fisher all the way. Yes, you know it, buddy. It's just it's going to keep growing. That's all. They can't. Nobody can. I don't know why anybody. You can't. I mean, if anybody that says Fisher and Fisher is not good sound, that's another person that you got to go red flag. Red flag. You don't know what they're talking about. Deborah and I are the Fisher Loudspeakers Fan Club of Australia, right? There's nothing like these speakers. We think they're simply awesome, everybody. Yeah, I mean, I can have person on after person. There's again, like I said, there's new. I'll start bringing it on to really. I don't want to say rub it in people's face, because I think you guys believe me, but to back up my mouth, I just keep selling them to people. I'll just keep bringing them on and say, how do they sound? How do they sound compared to anything you've ever heard before? Are they different than anything you've ever heard? You know, are they the best things you've ever bought, that you've ever owned? And it's pretty unanimous. We have silver carbon fiber SST single stereo tower, aka Gord, and the new X2 carbon fiber like SSD Dark Knight. Both are self-contained lithium power units designed for dreams. Okay, cool, man. I want some of what you guys are smoking, man. Thank you for this live stream, Mikey. I think you should have another live stream talking spirituality and religion. It'd be fun I don't claim to really know anything about it, but it's fun to talk about. Maybe we'll do it sometime. I'll take a poll. All right, guys, I gotta go. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. So thanks everybody for joining. I will see you on Wednesday. Okay. See you.